So what's the Get Down?
Hip hop cultural lifestyle show. Well, how did everything start?
Everything started in I would say 1982 when I was like 12, when I first heard Kraftwerk, Numbers. And I had never heard nothing like that before. And even though I grew up listening to Quincy Jones and a lot of big band music, because my dad and my mom are a little bit older, hip hop is what kind of really made me want to be a music producer, just because of how weird it was, and it was against the norm of real music. So I heard the song, and I'm only 12. I'm just getting into pop locking and trying to just really be into hip hop.
I got you.
Run DMC was popping at the time. Everything was.
So did you have the parachute pants and all of that?
I went through every phase. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you I didn't go through all the phases of hip hop, because if you really into hip hop, you're gonna go through all the phases of it in the beginning to to where it is now. But yeah, when I heard hip hop, it just made me want to become a producer and be able to create a sound that I was hearing in my head. Mm-hmm. So from there, I started getting little different managers, and and some of them started buying me equipment, and I was signing contracts in the dark room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
what's really going on?
Yeah, just to get some equipment and stuff, and I started making beats. I had a manager, his name was Bill Webb, and he bought me my first SP1200. And from then on, I just started, I was probably about 16, 17 years old. Because I used to go over to a good friend of mine, Battle Cat. I used to go to his house all the time, and he had equipment. He had more equipment than me. I had a raggedy one speaker with a cassette player, and he had all the all the DJ equipment. So I used to go over there, and then finally I told my manager, I said, "Yo, man, I need to give me an SP1200 so I could just sit here at the house and make beats all day." So he went and bought me one, and that's where it all started.
So from there, did you know that you wanted to go ahead and make beats for other people, or were you just making beats for, just cats in the hood,
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to be strictly behind the scenes, but then I was still trying to be an artist at the same time, and I went through my little artist phase. I had a whole crew.
What was the name of the crew?
Intense Method.
All right.
And it was like the style of my music, and around that time, I think it was all about styles and naming your style of music. So, Teddy Riley was big, so I was, I came up with Intense Method because that's what I felt about how my beats sounded.
So that was going to be a whole genre?
It was my whole genre, and I had a whole clique.
That's right.
But, when you rolling with a clique, it's all a part of, the love of the craft of hip hop.
Word.
And that's what's actually tatted on me, because this is where it all started.
Intense Method. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey. So where are we, about 16, 17 right now?
Yeah, I'm like 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean?
So now what are we doing?
What we're doing is we're pretty much kind of going through different parts of the hood, and from high school, I knew a lot of cats. One of my DJ partners is DJ Slice.
So you got to tell them where you originate out of. So there's nobody.
I'm from South Central LA.
There we go.
I'm from South Central LA, and I grew up between Florence and Normandy. So you already know where I was at. From day one, that's where I grew up, and played baseball, and wasn't really too good at basketball, but football and baseball I was pretty good at. But I love music more. So yeah, I grew up in South Central, and the gang violence and all of the the dope and all that was happening in the hood kind of drove my sound of what I wanted, how I felt when I chopped up my samples and all that type of stuff. But I really started getting into making gangster beats, you know. And that was probably around 88.
88.
Yeah.
All right, so it got real right then.
Yeah, around 88, I started making, I started listening to more samples and break beats into, because at first I was just making beats
Right.
from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really, chopping up samples too much. But I started doing more replaying and adding loops and all that, and just getting into manipulation of samples.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I started meeting different people. I started hanging out in the clubs when I turned about 20, like 19, 20, 21. I would hang out in the clubs, and while I was hanging in the clubs, I'd be in Hollywood, and I'd be, like a lot of the really black, the real superstar black actors
Right.
are like friends of mine from being in this really big club out here called Jamaica House.
Yeah, buddy.
And
Carlos and Charlie's right there. This
all
great.
that.
Yes, sir.
Even off of Pico and Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that is actually where my first hit record got broken. I was actually good friends with the guys that ran Jamaica House, because they actually had the artist signed to their label. So my first hit record was on an artist named Paperboy, and it was like 1992, and that's when things started changing sound-wise, because boom bap was really in, like Crisscross and House of Pain, and the sound was more, it was very East Coast driven. So when I came in, I did Paperboy. It ended up, it was the part of the movement of the West Coast sound. Mm-hmm. And that record actually got me nominated for a Grammy.
How did that feel?
It felt good. I wanted to win, but it was, it is.
You remember what you was up against?
I was up against Snoop. Mm-hmm. And he won.
Which album was that one? What's My Name?
I think it was it was 92, 90, yeah, about 90. So it was his first album. But yeah, I started working on Paperboy, and the album went gold and the single went platinum. And then I started meeting different people. A lot of the gangsters and the doughboys from where I was coming up they were like my big bros and my friends. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them were putting their money into trying to become like Ruthless. Mm-hmm. Because Eazy-E had the biggest label at the time. It had all the the biggest acts.
Right.
So from there, I ended up meeting Suge through his cousin, this female rapper named Sparkle. She introduced me to her cousin and told me that her cousin had a label. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea it was Death Row. And I went up and met Suge up on, I met him at the Fat Burger on, on Coanga and Lancashire. Mm-hmm. And he came out, we got along hella good, and we started talking. He was like, yo, I got a label, come by and play some music. And I took his card, we had a burger, and I left. And when I left, I went back over to my house and started making beats. And then maybe a couple of months went by, and I ended up meeting him again through Rage. Rage came to my house through an artist named Diamond, and she introduced me to her, and I started playing beats, and Rage was like, yo, you should meet Dre. And so that was all she wrote. And I went up to Death Row and started working over there after that. There's a lot of stories in between, but I ended up being over at Death Row, and then from Death Row is how from being over at Death Row and working on the Deep Cover soundtrack, I met the person who introduced me to Eazy-E. and that was his baby mama. And she ended up, I ended up producing her and making music for her, and then she told me that her baby daddy needed some beats.
Dig
and it just so happened to be Easy. Yep.
Dig that.
Yeah, so like everything happens for a reason. You never know what it is. My life has always been like, you know, just go. You know, take a chance at it, at what it is. So by me being so cool with people and just, you know, like, you rap, oh, let's go. You know what I mean? I would just listen to how they may or may not have been dope. You know, I could be passing up on the next, the next, you know, artist. But I started producing her music, and she was like, yo, her name is Tracy. I don't know if you know her, but she real, you know, she's, her daughter name is Evie. They're like really close. They're like my nieces. Well, all his kids are like my nieces and nephews, but.
Y'all heard that, so y'all hit him up when y'all seen.
Yeah, they're all, you know, they're like family. Yeah. But yeah, I went over there and I ended up linking up with Eazy-E during the riots. Once the riots hit, I left Death Row, and I ended up linking up with Eazy-E through Tracy, and then you know, I played him some beats. First, he wasn't feeling some of the stuff, and then he had me come out to his crib, and I bought a whole lot of, you know, beats that was from the SP 1200. You know what I mean? Like, first I was playing some funk stuff for him, but he wasn't really feeling that. So I started playing some of my own, like, tracks that I normally be making, and it blew his wig back.
That's good. All right.
And then he signed me on the spot and was like, yo.
All right, wait a minute, hold on. We got to get some clarifications and stuff. Yeah. You got to be the only man that was on Death Row and on Ruthless. Yeah. Never had any issues. Never, like.
Yeah, I had issues.
All right.
But like, everybody has issues, but you know, it's how much you're gonna tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know, it's like everybody's a man.
Yes, sir.
And I don't ride nobody nuts. I don't, you know, I think I'm Rhythm D. So
yes, sir.
You know, you got to have that fierceness. You think you dope? Well, I'm dope too, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck about these beats. Stop it. Like, we can go head up. We can do whatever the fuck, nigga. Like, everything else you could have, cooking and sewing and all that shit.
But so what you need, a verses or something? Verses where somebody throw the beat up? Is that what you need?
I mean, we can go. Everybody know that. Everybody know what's up with the genie. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Every genre, whatever it is. I'm not calling out nobody. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to, you know, you got to feel yourself so much that everybody, you know, would just know, especially when you can back it the fuck up. If you can't back it up, then stop it. It's like being on the court. Everybody on the court can back up their shit talk.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah. So that's how I feel, you know. And that's how I've always felt. Whatever producer was around, I didn't give two, stop it, nigga, we push and play. Boop. And that's just me.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Ain't that wrong with
hip hop since '79.
Uh-oh.
That's where we at with it. There's nothing that a nigga can't create.
They ain't ready for that one.
Yeah, I'm blessed, you know.
What was it like just being at Death Row, knowing that you was there like, man, I'm just here for the music? Like, what was it like for you?
It was like a family. There wasn't anything,
So all in the horror stories and everybody be popping.
All that shit would be happening, like I'd leave from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with Suge and Jewel, and then come back, then some shit didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you see?
Like they all, like I never had any problems with them. I just started hearing about a lot of craziness when I would come into the studio after everybody would leave. I'd be in there working with Sugar Free late at night when y'all didn't even know who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a family type of thing. So.
No, man, you just said you worked with Sugar Free. Nobody knew that.
Yeah, that was like, he was over, like a lot of people was at Death Row because it was a big label, and everybody, you know, all the artists, all the new artists that wanted to come out, the ones that was trying to come out, like if you was connected, you was trying to be on Death Row. It was the biggest label about to pop, and I was around there, you know.
And then you switched over to Ruthless, a better situation.
Okay, put it like this. I gotta be Rhythm D.
Right.
I can't be the piano keyboard player or the programmer. I gotta fucking make the whole beat and do me. That's just my ego.
Right.
And I'm proud to say that that's what it is.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I don't have any. When people tell you to suppress your ego,
but there's some humility in there, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course it is. I'm not a. All praises to the universe, because that's why we all exist.
Yes, sir.
But that's who gave me this. So if I was on some sappy stuff like get out of here.
There you go.
Do not listen to people that tell you to suppress your shit, because they try to sabotage you. You know what I'm saying? You can show humility and still be fierce at what you do by showing what you do. I'm not out here walking the streets like, yo, I'm Rhythm D. Like,
no arrogance.
I'm just gonna push play.
That type of jazz going on.
Just push play. Get on the court. Do whatever you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just be dope at it and talk shit with your skill.
Dig that.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But we at Ruthless.
We at Ruthless.
Oh, we at Ruthless. Ruthless was a beautiful thing. Ruthless was a producer's dream. You know what I mean? Like, I went over there, got the main job that the mega producer had, and Easy signed me on the spot. You know, I had a little weird niggas was talking crazy, but it was what it was. I went through my little guy situation with all the big bros.
Yeah.
You know, people that missed the old Ruthless. I went through that shit.
Yeah.
But it made me stronger. And I was still young. I was only like 22.
Right.
I was goofy as a motherfucker. You know.
So you had to handle that whole roster?
Yeah, the ones that were coming in. Most of the stuff was new stuff, from Bone Thugs and Harmony to Menage a Trois, and
I just needed you to say that Bone Thug stuff. You know.
Oh yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was my first group that I worked with over there, and I went over there, got a cool job. I was making some really good money and just living a Hollywood life. It was beautiful. Easy became my best friend. How many niggas can say that?
Nah.
And like my mentor,
I don't know
the big bro that get on your nerves.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm taller than him, so it was just like it was cool. I was in Calabasas and living on it was just beautiful. Cars and crazy women, and it was
What was Easy like?
Like a big bro to me. See, the crazy thing is, somebody could be a monster to someone else, but an angel to you. So he was a complete angel to me. He treated me like a he taught me a lot about publishing, and him and Jerry Heller.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah, him and Jerry Heller. Jerry Heller was like my grandfather.
Dig that.
So yeah, if Easy loved you, Jerry loved you. It's like I didn't have any issues on getting no money, none of that. Ruthless was a beautiful situation, and everybody know that. Everybody know that Rhythm was a spoiled producer at Ruthless, just get whatever the hell he wanted to get. It was all beautiful. But I had hit records out, so it was it was great. And I was hooking up all the homies that was in my clique, and it was
So as you were riding that wave right there, right? Because it was some funk going on with all of that. So how did you maneuver through all of that?
I mean, man, I used to get. Back then we didn't have no text messages, but I would get like phone calls on the answer machine, like, nigga, your shit whack, nigga. Yeah, I used to get all types of crazy shit, man. Plus I was feeling myself too, so ain't no telling who was mad and hating, but it is what it was, It's like, I had bodyguards, and Easy was my partner, so
so it wasn't no getting wet.
None of that. And then the niggas that we was beefing with was really my friends. Like,
right.
Corrupt, all it was like, man, niggas see you at the Grammys.
How long did you stay at Ruthless?
Till he died.
Dig that.
Yeah. I didn't leave until he died, and I got offered a deal over Priority, and I went and took that.
Dig that.
And it didn't work out, but I got some money. And
how long did you stay at Priority?
Till they dropped me.
I heard that. But the check cleared.
The check cleared, like
that's what it was about.
That's what it was about. I didn't know shit about being a CEO of a label. I didn't know how much politics went in. That's a whole different side. That's like trying to be a president. You know what I mean? Like I was still young. I was just dope at making beats.
So you had your own label?
Yeah, I had my own label. Brian Turner gave me my own label. He signed me up. I didn't go through no A&R. Then I had another A&R dude that me and him became cool. So you know, it was all that shit was learning and beautiful experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Dig that.
You know, it's been a ride. You know, and I'm super cool with everybody. That's the cool part. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I got too many enemies. If I do, I love you. COVID-19 killer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like once you get to where once you've seen what I've seen and been through the stuff I've been through behind the scenes, it makes the things that are not seen really not valuable. Right. You know, because I know what the truth is about a lot of stuff. Because I've worked with Easy and Tupac and some of the people that people really be admiring and really look up to, and they really they really wish that they was their friend. And you know, TV and movies and radio and video and social media makes people godlike. None of these people were gods. They weren't flawless people. They were stars based on you being a fan. You know, and that's really what I know about being a producer and being behind the scenes and working with different artists. A lot of times we're making the song, you know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays because of technology and a lot. So it's just been a fun journey, man. Just, really, really fun. I'm not mad at it.
So let me ask you this though, based on what you were just saying. So do you think that people romanticize hip hop more than actually understand hip hop or live hip hop?
Well, hip hop itself is a lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
You have to know the history, you have to know, it's a lot you have to know about it. And I'm not saying if you're a young cat that you need to go back and go to an actual hip hop school, but it'll show you things about hip hop that aren't any different than what you're doing now. Even with the way a lot of these young cats are dressing. We've always had tapered pants. We've always had crazy hairstyles. We went from polka dot pants to balloon pants to we've had colored flat tops. We've done it all.
Jeans.
Yeah, we've done everything. So I can't look at my son or my daughter and be like, what is you doing? You looking crazy. It's like, dude, we was looking crazy too. Look at that daddy right there. And you'd be like, damn, I thought you was into gangster rap. I was like, yeah, I switched it up and turned it into, it's just.
Got extra sexy on.
Yeah. So like anything can be romanticized or whatever what did you say?
I said, romanticized this, as far as how they view hip hop. Because I think that a lot of people like to say that they're hip hop and things like that, but I don't think they really know.
A lot of people like
R&B no longer exists for right now, you know what I mean? Because everybody's singing.
Well, everybody's singing because now technology has created a plugin called auto-tune, and auto-tune can make a rapper be able to hit a note, which is really unbeatable when it comes to syncopation. So now your rapper is singing. Very hard for somebody that's and then like that's hard for. The kids are going to eat it up, and that's most of the population. So it's going to work. It's like that's what hip hop is. It's rebellion against real music. That's what I'm saying. This is what we're going to do. We're manipulating. We're scratching. We're we're adding 808s. It's like technology has made it to where you'll fall backwards and you'll be dated if you don't understand where it's going from. It took a lot for me to adapt all of these years. That's been the toughest part of my career, is adapting to the technology and the different sounds that come out, because one producer will come out with a sound and everybody will ride to it.
Right.
But it's not my sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I got to look at it like, okay, damn, do I ride the wave of that? But let me figure out how to manipulate it to where I'll like it. And then, and then it's about power, really. If you have money behind you and you are promoted correctly, you can make millions. So it's like I said, it's the technology that was the hardest part to adapt to in creating the music.
You still work with your peers? Because you come from a lot, like your era and generation, cats could really bar up. You know what I mean?
But
so
I mean,
do you still work with those type of cats, or do you just strictly?
You mean the cats that came up with me?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm saying like anybody, like how we was just popping it with Raz and other cats like that. I mean, cats from back in the day that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still into lyrics.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
like my artist Lamont Holt, he's dope, but he's not.
You heard the plug, right? Yeah. See, I need. Yeah.
No, it's all good. You owe me $50. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, though. You owe me $50. But look, yeah, I mean, the elevation of hip hop is not changing.
Right.
It's the beats that are behind it that have gotten to where they sound like they're coming out of a little machine where you crank it, and that's only because it became easy for everybody to be able to make beats.
Yeah.
So once your little cousin has them and your little, you know what I'm saying, everybody got beats, it dumbs down the art form of it. And, you know, so the ones that are extremely dope, you know, the music producers that are extremely dope at making trap, theirs will stand out. And they know how to manipulate it, but it'll still be that genre now. Trap, you know, we've been trapped in trap for a minute. Man, hold on. Somebody telling me not to say that. See, they hit me and said, man, stop saying that, Rhythm. But
so how do you become a super producer such as yourself? Because that's where I put you at. I know your path, even though you're not speaking on a lot of it. You know what I mean? People would really trip out if they understood. I mean, a lot of that. You
producing is different than being a beat maker.
All right. Go ahead.
So a producer is going to make music.
Yes, sir.
I'm a musician and a DJ and a beat maker all in one. So I live this. This is nothing that. This isn't about likes and follows for me. I don't come from that. I come from we're being sought after. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. We're gonna sit in this room and we're gonna figure it out.
It's different. It's just a little bit different. You know?
Right. So how do you deal with that? You know, just dealing working
what
with somebody.
What I like to do is I'm trying to go into mogul status, like where I'm gonna be able to just change people's lives. That's where I'm headed. I don't, you know.
You can't just say that and then don't start dropping, you know, bombs, because that was a jewel you just said. So you want to go to mogul status and start.
Yeah, like okay.
Come on, how? What we doing?
More or less like if I want to sign you, then your music is gonna come out and you're gonna blow up. It's not on some bullshit. It's not one of them situations where you're gonna be like, yo, have you heard my shit? No. It's gonna be like, you heard that, right?
Right.
And that's the level that major promotion and real money behind you and all that is that's what gets you to that level where you're streaming, everybody, like you hear artist stuff that you're not even trying to hear and it gets to you, right? That's what I'm talking about. And that's the, you know, the level that I want to be able to change an artist's life and be like, yo, if you fucking with me, then your shit gonna come out and blow up and we're gonna make money.
I'm on that brainwash, full rollout, anonymous. Underplay the overplay, strategic, I promise. More dope brings more Negroes. Watch them heroes, pro-lethal. Dream killers feast on people. Nubius in need, mine on the hunt. Paul Bear, sharp fluid, gates and piston bumps. No excuses, that's a sin. Back to the begin. Muscle memory, pseudo respect and revenge. Plays blindfolded, a bucket list with interest. Forgiveness, the shadows and mirrors who handle business. Legacy, all grind, no guest list. Land in jurisdiction, make you bread prejudice. For the purists and the tourists, Q sticky for ghetto jurors. Swing high, swing low, you forgot that we do this. Bank selection, smooth DR vibe. Underground icon, you have now been gentrified.